So I've been shooting suppressed energies, and it was pretty loud when I started. I just kept shooting, and now it's pretty quiet. So we're going to take advantage of that. Nine of Swords out the gate, Six of Wands both upright, and then the Three of Wands in reverse. I've got the Knight of Wands upright, so I've got the Nine of Swords and the Nine of Wands. 5. Page of Wands. This is the Ten of Swords in reverse. Nine of Swords energy. Nine of Wands energy. With this victory card here. 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I have 3 more cards. Let's take a look at these real quick. So we've got the Hierophant in reverse, Two of Swords in reverse, and the Eight of Cups. Okay, so I'm taking the combination of these 3 cards as we're not going to do things the way we used to do them or the way we always do them. I'm tired of being blinded to the fact of either what I'm missing or what I'm doing that's not serving me. I've got this Two of Swords in reverse, but he's not blindfolded. In fact, his swords are lit up. And then we have this Eight of Cups energy, which is kind of like, we're not doing this anymore. We're not going to be blind. We're not going to. We've also got this Ten of Swords in reverse, so in front of it. So to me, this is also like, this happened to me, and I'm not going to, drag it through everything, but it's not going to happen anymore because I'm not going to respond the way I usually respond or used to respond. Okay, so this is like the catalyst, this Nine of Swords here, and I feel like this is like, it went on for a while. It wore me out. It was tiring. It was either nightmarish or it gave me nightmares or both. And this Six of Wands, I got over some of it. I might have even like stopped having nightmares, or the nightmares, I might have kept having nightmares, but the nightmares stopped affecting me, which to me is a win. But either way, still sort of like tormented. This Three of Wands, I'm not going to sit around and wait for this thing to like change on its own, or for me to change enough to like not want to like sit in this anymore. I'm going to go ahead and move forward out of this. Yeah, I don't care what I have to drag behind me to do. I mean, normally we say like, oh, let go of things, blah, blah, as you move forward, like let go of things. And to a certain extent, if you look at this card, he sort of has. This is the Knight of Wands, but he only has 1 wand in his hand. All the other wands are behind him. It's like, I'm going to take this 1 wand and I'm going to go up this hill. And then even then, this Page of Wands, 1 wand, kind of standing there, which to me was always like on a hilltop or on a cliff or on a castle, like some kind of, I can't see where he's standing, but to me that was always like, in a atrium or something, where he's just kind of overlooking, the water. And then we have this Ten of Swords. See, I feel like we got to the Nine of Swords and we were kind of like, okay, enough's enough. We got to the Nine of Wands and we were kind of like, okay, I know how to make this lighter real quick. Let's get a second row. I want to say that this is a love relationship. There's not actually any cards on the table that would denote love necessarily. I think, yeah, I mean, so far with what's on the table, it could qualify like as family or a friendship or even coworkers or whatever. With this 7, I'm sorry, I keep hitting my microphone, but with this like 7 of swords on the table. Again, we're kind of like in this energy of like possible betrayal, and you know, while we're having nightmares. But I don't see that this is necessarily a love relationship. This could be family. This could be friends that aren't really friends. Maybe even people that we've known for a long time. So we just, even if we were like in some sort of process of waking up, we might not evaluate them as if they were good enough friends because they've been around so long. Yeah, I don't see any of that happening here. Whoa. Cards on the floor. So now we have the Nine of Swords in reverse. Underneath the Six of Wands. And this Page of Swords in reverse. Underneath this Three of Wands in reverse. Yeah, okay, this is a person. And I feel like, so whoever's experiencing this, they, I was going to say this was done to them by a person, but I just meant that the way that they were feeling in that Nine of Swords energy was, it was a situation involving a person. It could have been like a Seven of Swords type of situation where somebody cheated or lied or stole. But it doesn't have to be. It could really be anything that we would consider to be either a betrayal or just something that really stung. I don't see the Three of Swords on the table, but that Ten of Swords upside down kind of denotes like it's a possibility that the thing was done like Ten of Swords style, but we didn't, you know, we only let it hit us like Nine of Swords because we couldn't handle the Ten of Swords energy, because we have this Nine of Swords upside down after the Seven of Swords. It was almost kind of like, okay, you know what? I can't face the ending, but I'm not going to sit in nightmare mode. So I'm just going to, oh. So what's actually not on the table is the Eight of Swords, which is, like it can come off as like a self-imposed prison. Yeah, we froze ourselves. That's why this Page of Swords is there upside down, because I take that Page of Swords as being another person, and to me that's why that the Three of Wands that was there next to it is upside down, because I feel like we don't really have a choice. In other words, we have to deal with this. We can't just walk away. We can't just something ended, or it ended in a way where we didn't want to look at it as an ending. But this person is definitely like estranged or separated at the very least. But they may still be hanging around. We have this Wheel of Fortune energy underneath this Knight of Wands. And so this, when we froze in this like Eight of Swords, or in this Eight of Swords energy, we blocked ourselves off from being this like King of Wands. Yeah. So we got this Five of Wands here underneath this Nine of Wands. Then we have the Five of Cups in reverse. And then we have this Four of Wands underneath this Ten of Swords in reverse. Then we have 3 more cards again. So now officially Three of Swords is on the table. Strength upside down. And here we are with this Five of Swords. Five of Wands, Five of Cups, Five of Swords. And then we have this Four of Wands. We blocked ourselves off from, we made it hurt more. Yeah, we wore ourselves down with that one. We would have been better off just doing the healing. I feel like it's on the table. I'm trying to find it. You know, it's like all over the table. Yeah, this whole thing is like putting an end to what we've been doing and putting an end to who we've been doing it with, and knowing full well that, you know, we should be moving, but then sort of stopping because we didn't want to, I still feel like we didn't want to face the actual ending, even though it occurred. It's again, it's like a tower is on the table, but it's not on the table. Let's pull from another deck. Now that ending definitely occurred. It looks like this person won't go away. And this person that won't go away is either being watched by this person who doesn't want to go to level 10 with them, or that person that won't go away is watching, or both. I don't see both. I see this person not going away. Yeah, they want to see what the outcome is for this Nine of Swords person. They do not wish happiness on them. Here we are with Judgment and the Two of Cups in reverse. They're hoping it falls apart. Yeah. I feel like it's a relationship that hasn't even started yet. That's kind of like it's wishing, they're wishing like that the people get divorced, but they're like not even married yet. No, this person knows better. See, that's the other thing. This is why this person has to leave this other person behind, because this other person doesn't understand how to see happiness. So they, especially if you leave them, then they want to see unhappiness for you, right? They want to see you choke up, not be able to approach people, not be able to get what you want, because they can't see it. The issue is the reason why this person did all this, the reason why they put their foot down was because they can see it. Whoa. This one hit me in the chest. Choice to make. They can choose not to move forward if they want. They can choose not to follow what it is that they see. Now they see this. They didn't see it before. And they see it in a way that is like pleasing to them. It's not in the way that everyone else sees it, or the way their parents saw it, or the way they were told to see it. Like, they watched what their friends were doing. They now think of marriage or partnership in a different way, because they were exposed to someone where that was missing. Like the cups are in reverse, the swords are, present. This person it didn't take them much. They were kind of like, wow, one of these things just doesn't belong, and it sort of just stood out. Part of it was the friends, some of it was friends. This was upside down. So some of it was, other people that they knew, who they thought were their friends or who they thought were family. And they saw real quick that that's not what was going on. Third eye chakra. Real quick. So I would think with this community card and with this Page of Swords card on the table that it's not just one person, as far as like watching and maybe not necessarily wishing this person, everything that they would dream of. This Wheel of Fortune, when I first saw it, I took it as kind of like victory, or like it says, luck, expansion, change. I know that this person wanted to change and there was things that were holding them back. I also see karma, and I believe Judgment is on the table. And I feel like, destiny, opportunity, winning. Yes, that's how I took it. Yes. They don't have to do anything. They are going to prevail in this, and they're going to get it the way they want to get it. Even if they change their mind and want it another way, then they'll just get it that way. This is a person who's sort of easygoing about the way that they create. Becoming braver. Yeah. Resilience, experience, growing stronger, fresh perspective. This took them down, this Nine of Swords, this prolonged kind of nightmarish energy, but they were strong to begin with. So they kind of just sort of stepped out of it. Like I said, no, we're not doing this. We're not doing this anymore. Ah, I see where I went wrong. Okay, we're not doing that again. They might have even really surprised this like Page of Swords person when they changed. I was going to say when they changed perspective, but I meant when they changed the way they operated with them. This Page of Swords, but I went, what do you mean? What do you mean we're not doing it that way? We always do it that way. You know, these carrying connections as well. What do you mean? What do you mean we're going to change the way we do it? Yeah. And you were like, well, I'm not doing that anymore. And they were kind of like, well, what do you mean? Yeah, it just seems stupid. I got other stuff going on. I don't really like the way this goes. Yeah, for some reason I'm getting like Thanksgiving dinner, which is weird because it's not near Thanksgiving. But it's almost like we show up for Thanksgiving and then somebody's nasty and we just let it, and then, next year we dread it because we're like, oh, this person's going to say the thing again. And, it's almost like this person went, no, I'm not going to travel to someone else's house so that they can do this. Wow, this card trying to jump on the floor, still trying to jump out of my hand. We're all mad here. So whoever else is in the situation doesn't see it. They don't see it the way you see it, or they don't see, if you're watching for someone else, they don't see it the way they see the way they see it. And that's part of the reason why it took this person so long to see it, but then all of a sudden they couldn't not see it. Sometimes something happens and people just kind of go, wow. And then they kind of see from like maybe if a person brought it, even if a person allowed it to happen, it was like out of character. And then they kind of see that quality in them, which always made that possible. And then they understand that, oh, this person hasn't changed, I have. And then sometimes they understand why they're not compatible anymore, because that will start to stand out depending on what you're trying to do. So keep that in mind until we meet again.